What's going on, guys? Welcome to the Steak and Antler Show with your host, me. I'm Sam. Today in the kitchen, I'm going to be showing you guys a recipe that'll knock the pockets right off your cargo shorts. We're going to be cooking with some steak. I'm going to show you guys this fantastic recipe. You can cook it for 4th of July or really whatever you want to do. So what we're going to start off with, we're going to marinate this steak for 3 to 4 hours. You want it to be, it's about 1.25 inches thick. And so what we're going to do, let me rub my hands off. Step 1 is always wash your hands, because no one wants any nastiness on there. Second, you're going to take a really sharp knife and you're just going to make cuts right down the steak. You're going to make them one way, and then we're going to go back perpendicular and make them at 90 degrees the other way. So you're not going to cut very deep. You're probably going to cut maybe 1/4 inch, and you're just going to flip the steak over and do the same thing on the other side. Some people may think, oh, well, that's kind of weird, but it actually allows the marinade that we're about to make to get in a lot deeper to the meat while it's sitting and marinating in the fridge. So today I'm making 2 steaks, and so I'm going to do this to both of them just real quick. So there's one. We'll just do this real quick. Make sure your knife is good and sharp too, but don't sharpen it over your food because metal shavings taste interesting. I got these steaks from Sam's. I love Sam's. I buy everything in bulk from Sam's. So if you don't have a membership, I highly recommend going to get it. It'll save you a bunch of money, and you can just get a ton of food. Okay, so with the steaks done, ready to go, we're gonna get to our marinade and our seasoning. The first thing that you're gonna wanna do, garlic. Garlic all the time. Garlic is good on anything. You can make desserts with garlic. You can make fantastic steaks with garlic. Whatever you want, use garlic. So we're gonna use about 1 clove right now, and you're gonna finely dice it. So I just like to cut it into pieces first, just real loose cuts, and then I'll go back in and kind of dice it later. We're gonna use fresh ground black pepper, a little bit of Himalayan salt, some extra virgin olive oil. This is going to be our marinade. Sorry, Mom. This seasoning is just absolutely incredible. You can use it on virtually anything. So what we're going to do is we're going to set our steaks down, and we're going to grab, the first layer is going to be our special stuff. And we're just going to do like a light dusting on the steak on each side. So we're just going to flip it over. Set that to the side and just kind of rub the seasoning in, spreading out the steak as you're rubbing in the seasoning. Again, these cuts just really help the seasoning get all incorporated into the steak, and it's going to be really nice just to let it sit for a little bit. So then what we're going to do next is we're going to do salt. You're just going to lightly salt it, and this Himalayan salt is really good. You don't have to use a lot. It's a lot, to me personally, it's a lot stronger than just normal like table or iodized salt. So we're just going to use a little bit of salt on each side. Just kind of sprinkle that on there. And then the last thing we're going to use is the fresh ground black pepper. Now, depending on your taste preference, you can use a lot or you can use a little. With the steak seasoning that I put on there, there's not a whole lot of pepper in there. So I personally like a really peppery steak. It just adds a little oomph. And so I'm gonna cover each side of the steak, set the pepper off to the side, and I'm just gonna rub it in just a little bit extra. And so if you have any seasoning left on your cutting board, just roll the sides of the steak, get everything well incorporated. Try to use as much seasoning from the cutting board as you can. So now what we're gonna do is we're gonna bag up each steak individually in its own bag. Set that in there. And we will set that one in there. And so what we're going to do is we're going to take half of the garlic and put it in one bag. And then we're going to take the other half of the garlic and we're going to sprinkle it in the other bag. And so then just to finish it off, just to really help with a lot of the moisture in the steak, we're going to put our extra virgin olive oil in the bag. I just put it in a little squirt bottle applicator. And so you're just gonna zip the bag. I don't close all the air out just because I want a lot of room to like shake the steak around and get all of the olive oil like really well incorporated. And so you can like do a little shake weight, a little practice with, you know. Anyways, so you're gonna shake that, and then we're actually just gonna stick this in the fridge for 3 to 4 hours, and I will show you how to throw it on the grill. Alright, so it's been 3 to 4 hours and we're getting ready to cook. So I'm gonna go ahead and pull all of the steak out of the fridge. We're gonna go light the grill up and get ready to go. Cooking's pretty lit. So, if y'all want to follow me, we'll take the steaks outside, get those put on the grill. Once again, these have been marinating for 3, maybe close to 4 hours. Like I said earlier, these are 1 1/4 inches thick. So we're going to put these on about 5 minutes each side. There's one. So this is for rare. We're going for rare here, and so we're going to do about 5 minutes each side. You can go about 6 minutes if you want to get a little more medium than rare, or about 4 minutes if you want to get more rare than medium rare. Steaks are on. I'm going to close this up and we'll come back in 5 minutes. Okay guys, we're going to add some extra things to our dish. We're not just going to have steak. So right now I have 2 cups of water on high boil right now. We're going to add 1 cup of brown rice. So I'm just going to sprinkle it over, put the cap on, and then you're gonna crank the heat all the way from high down to like a low simmer, and you're gonna do that for 20 minutes. Just brown rice cooks a lot slower. So after that, the last thing we're gonna add to the dish, steamed veggies. Eat your veggies, kids. You gotta whip up your veggies, you know? So we have some microwavable veggies from Sam's. They take about 5 minutes in the microwave to do. So we're gonna just take them, toss them in there like Kobe, hit 5 minutes, hit start. Easy as that. Oh, that smoke outside, we be smoking, but like the legal kind. And the kind that's good for you. Action! Just kidding. Our veggies are ready. Ah! Beep! Veggies are hot. Be careful. Alright, so rice is almost done. Veggies are just now done. You can see the smoke outside. Steaks are on the grill. We'll check it in just a couple more minutes. Daddy Shark, do 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 do. Daddy Shark, do 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 do. So it's been about 5 minutes. Oh my goodness. Look at that beautiful steak. So what we're gonna do, we're actually not gonna close this quite yet. We're gonna allow a lot more air to come back in there and the heat to come back up. And then we're gonna let it sit for another 5 minutes once we close the gate. And that should add like a nice little char to it. All the little cut lines that we got have been helped the steak cook a lot quicker. Now, grill is closed. 5 minutes. Rice is getting close to being done. Oh, it's hot. Need about 2 more minutes. So, a trick that I learned is if your rice is really soupy, just take the lid off and it'll evaporate a lot more of the water out. And so, ow, that's hot. So right when your rice is supposed to be done, it'll have a lot more water content lost from it, and so it'll be a lot fluffier. It just won't be as soupy like in your pan whenever you're dipping it up to get it ready for the steak. Romeo, where art thou, Juliet. Where's Juliet? I don't want her. Guys, one crucial aspect of cooking steak is letting your steak rest. So what I'm doing here is I'm just getting a regular like 9x9 cake pan and some foil. And I'm just gonna line the cake pan with the foil. You get a little bit extra so that you can fold the foil over. But what you don't wanna do as soon as you take the steak off the grill, you don't wanna cut into it. You just wanna leave it. It'll cook a little bit extra while it's resting, and it's gonna allow all the juices to just kind of get sucked back up into the steak so that you can have a really, really juicy, really delicious steak. So that's what I'm doing here. We just have maybe 2 more minutes on the steak and we'll go pull it out. So one final touch that I like to do is right before I pull the steak off, I cut a piece of butter for each steak. Set that down, put this back in the fridge. And so what we're gonna do is we're gonna take 1 piece of butter, put it on top of the steak, and just let it melt, let it fully incorporate into the steak. And then as soon as that's fully melted, we're gonna take it off and put it in our pan, get it ready to rest. And now, steaks are ready to rock. So we're gonna take our butter, we're gonna take our resting pan, and we're gonna go out there. Ooh, man alive, is that nice. Ooh. So we're going to close the grill, just allow the butter to melt all fully through the steak, fully incorporate. We're going to close off the air, just to let it kind of steam the butter in a way. And then we have our resting pan here, ready to go. Ooh, that is good. Alright guys, so here comes the first steak. Here comes the second steak. Look how fantastic those look. You can still see a little bit of pink going on in the center. You're going to want to let your steak rest about 10 minutes. And so that'll give us enough time to go get everything else plated and ready to go, ready to have an incredible dinner. Alright guys, so our rice is ready. Just giving it a final few stirs. We're gonna make sure to turn your stove off. You don't want to catch your house on fire. Alright, and so the first plating is gonna be the rice. We're gonna do each person, we're making 2 servings of each. So we're gonna do about half a cup of brown rice per plate. And then what I like to do is I just like to add some butter and salt to it, just real simple. You can do some pepper. You can do really whatever you want. Next up, we have our steamed bag of veggies. They're already drained. So I'm gonna pour the veggies in. And now, the best part. Oh, girl! Woo, no, this is gonna be so nice. And there you have it, folks. The steak dinner from Steak and Antler. Thanks for tuning in. If you like this video, give it a thumbs up, hit subscribe down below, or if you're really feeling it, leave me a comment on what you want me. If you're feeling it, leave me a comment down below. Let me know what you want to see me cook next on the Steak and Antler show. Catch you next week. Thanks, guys.